Thank you for joining us on this episode of EideCast. Is This Thing On? Today I am joined with Kenny Linton. Hello, how are you?
Good, how are you doing?
Good. Is this your first time being
First time
on
the
podcast?
podcast, yep.
Very
Never been
nice.
on any kind of podcast before.
Okay. Well, thank you for joining us.
Thanks.
What do you do at Vern Eide?
So I'm a service technician over there. So work on cars, fix cars.
How did you get started in your position?
I went to school for cars or for mechanics. And then I went to a Ford Chrysler dealer, and then went to a couple independent shops, and then came here.
Very nice. How did you find out about the job at Vern Eide?
It was just by chance. I live in Larchwood, so
Okay.
I was just driving into Sioux Falls looking for a job, and I was like, hey, there's a shop right there.
Nice.
And then you guys were hiring. I was like, worked out good.
Yeah, perfect. And you have you been here for 2 years?
This will
or-
be my second year.
So going from the Ford and Chrysler dealership to the Mitsubishi, is there something that you notice with the culture, or has it been pretty consistent?
Pretty consistent
Okay.
throughout. I suppose it's kind of just like the guys in the shop or something, and it seems like our Vern Eide shop is really close knit.
Okay,
Yeah,
very nice.
bunch of good guys.
Good. And I know there was one time, a long time ago, I asked you in a video, I said, what's your favorite thing about your job? And you just said, I just really like working on cars. Has that always been a hobby of yours, or what sparked that interest?
Yeah, my mom always was on me for taking stuff apart and never putting it back together.
Okay.
So it's like, it was fun to just, dismantle stuff.
Okay. What do you do when you get a car that just like stumps you?
Ask for help.
That's a great idea.
Yep.
What is something, because I know nothing about cars, right? Like I've never worked on a car, but what would be something that comes up that like is stumping you? Is it just like it should be working and it's not, or how does that come up, if that makes sense?
Newer cars are nice where they give us like DTCs, or they give you somewhere to go to.
Okay.
Where older cars are kind of more like remove a part, see what changes. More seems like more diag in an older car than in newer ones.
Okay. Do you kind of like the challenge of an older car, or is it just nice when
Sometimes.
it's straightforward?
Yeah, sometimes it's nice, unless it like snowballs into
Okay.
multiple issues. Then it kind of gets old. But
Okay. That makes sense.
yeah,
And you're from, you said,
from Larchwood.
Larchwood.
Yeah,
And you were born and raised there then? Or?
No, we were. My parents moved me here from California.
Okay.
I lived in San Jose until I was 12,
Okay.
and then my dad wanted to be a farmer, so he moved us out here.
Okay. What did he do before he was a farmer?
He worked at a military defense plant, so
Okay.
he built Bradley vehicles
Okay.
or
Very
tanks.
Nice.
Yeah,
That's super
yeah.
cool. So would you say most of your childhood you remember from being here, or kind of a mixture of being here in California?
I was like, what was that?
Sorry. Sometimes when people move during their childhood, they kind of identify one place as home versus the other.
Oh,
Would you
yeah,
say like
yeah.
you see Sioux Falls as your home, or would you see California, or kind of a mixture of the
Yeah,
two?
I think here more than Cali, because I was 12 when I came, so I liked it there when I was younger, but now that I'm older, I wouldn't move back.
Yeah, very nice. What were some of your favorite things to do as a child?
Building model cars.
Okay.
Bike ride. Yeah.
Yeah, nice.
You know,
What does your family consist of nowadays?
like my immediate family. So I just got married a couple months ago.
Oh, congratulations.
I have a new daughter. I have 3 boys.
Okay.
And then I just had a new baby.
Nice. Well, congratulations. I didn't
Thank
know
you.
any of
Thank
that,
you.
so that's
Yep.
really fun.
Yeah, it's kind of.
What are their
crazy.
ages then for your kids?
So my oldest is 21.
Okay.
And I have a 17-year-old, and then an 8-year-old, and now a 3-month-old.
Okay, very nice. I did not know that you
Yeah.
just had a baby.
Yeah.
also didn't know that you just got married recently. So congratulations.
Thank you.
Is it kind of hard going back to baby stage a little bit? Or?
Yeah, the whole diapers again thing,
Yeah.
and waking up in the middle of the night.
Yeah.
And, it's rough.
That's funny. Not funny, but I just also had a baby. Almost a year ago, but just kind of that.
Yeah,
Yep,
the
get
whole
it.
morning routine and everything changes. Like,
Is that, or do you feel like you thrive on drinking coffee now to get you by, or is it just kind of waking up and being ready for the day?
yeah, just get through the day.
Okay.
I don't do try to stay off the caffeine.
Yeah.
It's too much.
I feel like if I were working on a car or something that had too much caffeine, it'd be hard to like, get things.
You can't concentrate and
Okay. What is something people may not know about you?
I have a Smurf glass collection.
Ew.
Yeah. It's like in the 70s they made, I think it was McDonald's or somebody made
Yeah.
Smurf glasses, and I collected them all.
Oh my gosh, I just actually saw some. So I love thrifting, and I just saw
cool.
some last week.
That's
so
where I
so
pretty
funny.
much find them all. Yeah.
Yeah?
Yep.
Okay, well that's good to know. I did not know that you would
Yeah.
never have guessed that
I know.
actually. How many would you say you have?
Well, there's 14 in the kit, and
Okay.
I think I have like 20 or something.
Holy
A
cow.
couple extra.
Nice.
Just in
How
case.
did it just like spark your curiosity, or how?
It's my sister. So like when I was younger, we had them as kids,
Mm-hmm.
and I went to her house and I saw she had one, and I was like, "Oh my God, dude, where'd you find that at?" And it
Yeah.
was just like,
Spiraled from there.
started collecting.
I love that. Oh, that's so funny. I did not. That was not at all what I expected.
know,
You.
it's
I don't
like-
know what
like,
I thought you would say. I think. So correct me if I'm wrong. I feel like you have some tie to ice cream of some sort.
Oh yeah, I worked for Stensland's for a while.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is that
Yeah.
what you did previous to?
Yeah,
being
right
here,
before
or?
here I was at Stensland's. Yeah.
Okay,
I
what-
took like a 3 to 5 year break from cars.
Okay. What did you do at Stensland's then?
So I was their cheese manager.
Oh,
so I made
fun.
cheese for them. And,
Okay.
Yep. And then towards the end, I delivered too. So I was
Okay.
a delivery driver.
Nice.
It was a fun job.
Okay.
I liked it.
That's kind of what I honestly thought you were gonna say, and then
Yeah.
the Smurfs just threw me for a loop. What's something? Hold on, I'm trying to think here. So you said you were part of making cheese.
Yeah.
What's
Yeah.
that entail?
It's wild. It's just like a big stainless steel vat. They pour the milk in, then you put cultures in. There's something else too, like a liquid you pour in there.
Okay.
Let it mix for a certain amount of time, and then you like rake it with a rake, and then cut it. Yeah.
That's a whole process.
Yeah, there's a lot of hand labor in
Okay,
it.
I believe
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
That's amazing. What is your why, or what motivates you?
I think family, just
Yeah.
getting home to family and
Okay. Very
yeah,
nice.
Yeah.
When you're not at work, what do you enjoy doing?
So I have a saltwater aquarium.
Oh,
So
really?
I like doing saltwater fish. Bike ride. I have a motorcycle, so I like to do that. RC cars.
Okay. I didn't.
Yeah. My 8-year-old's really into them now. So
Do you, with RC cars, do you build them, or is that just something that you get and then drive them around? Different. I don't know how that all works.
You can buy some kits you have to build, and some
Okay.
of them are already built.
That's fun. I'm sure that's a nice like bonding time for you
Yeah,
guys.
yeah,
to
me
do.
and him. Yeah, me
Nice.
and my youngest boy.
With your, I was going to ask you about your tattoo because I
yeah.
mentioned that earlier. Are you a big fish guy then if you have a saltwater
Yeah,
aquarium?
I've always had a fish tank.
Okay. What are some like the different types of fish you have?
So I got a couple clownfish, cardinal, a sand sifting goby,
Okay.
and then a mandarin.
Okay.
Yeah.
How did you get into that?
When I was like 13, I got a freshwater fish tank,
Mm-hmm.
and then my parents let me keep going on with it. So since I was 13, I always had a tank.
That's so cool.
And then like 10 years ago, I went up to saltwater.
Okay.
It's a lot harder. But
With saltwater tanks, do you have to, is there something with like the lighting that you have to do, or how does that?
if you want to keep coral in there, then you do like a grow light
Okay.
on top.
Okay.
But for fish, you don't really need a high power light.
Okay, that's good to know. I had an old coworker who they owned a fish store, like an exotic fish store
Oh, cool.
in town. And he'd always send out Snapchats or whatever, and there was like different like blue lights, but they had like jellyfish, I think.
Nice.
So
Okay. Yeah.
I think they.
Yeah.
I was always curious
Anemones
about it.
too, like lights.
Okay.
Too. Yeah. Yeah.
Very nice. I did not know it's as big of a community as it is, though. I'm
Man, it's huge. Yeah.
learning
yeah.
a lot.
Yeah.
Would you say that you're a books, a movie, or a music person?
More movies.
Movies?
I like watching
Okay.
movies.
What do you
Yeah.
have a specific genre that you like, or?
Probably horror.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. I am like the biggest chicken ever, so I'm
right.
probably not gonna know really any of them. But what would you say your top 3 movies are?
Oh man. Now that I said horror, I really like Fast and Furious.
Okay. Okay.
That and I guess I don't even know like scary movies. Like for a favorite, I wouldn't even know. I guess.
Okay.
Yeah.
And like, for a favorite, it doesn't necessarily have to be scary, or just in general, like it's hard to narrow it down to 3.
Yeah. Yeah, it's hard to narrow it down, I guess. I don't know.
There's so many out there. I'm
I know,
sure
it's
it'd be
like,
hard to pick.
yeah. I heard once, like, in a statistic too, like, horror movies are supposed to help with, like, anxiety and depression too, or something.
Really?
Yeah.
I feel like I'd have more anxiety from
that. I know. It's like my life's not that bad, or I don't know what the deal is.
That's true. I guess that's a good way to put it. I think my brain would just be like, so my friends and I used to watch the Saw movies, and I just remember like not being able to close my eyes.
What, yeah, the gore ones I don't like. It's just like the jump scares and.
Okay. I'm trying to think. Like, what do you consider a jump scare? What would be like the first one that comes to your mind?
Just like, the camera's coming across. There's something in a dark room, and all of a sudden they like come across the face, and you're like, Jesus.
Okay. Is that like? So I don't watch a lot of like scary movies just because I'm a chicken. I mean, like there's some that I watch, but like just Disturbia. Do you know?
Oh yeah.
That one, like I was like, okay, I can kind of do this one, and then they ended up in the basement with the. Have you seen it? Am I ruining this for you?
Yeah, I think I've seen it. It's been a while though.
Okay,
I don't know if I
I'll
remember.
have to continue on, but it's just like a. Maybe I shouldn't. But I just remember being like, I'm not meant for this. Like, I can't watch this kind of stuff. I didn't sleep for like a week after that. So I'm curious about the study of anxiety and depression with that. But the whole like, oh, my life isn't so bad is probably a good way to look at that. That's so funny. When it comes to working on cars, is there a specific car that you see come in and you're like, I'm no concerns at all. Like this is gonna be a piece of cake to work on.
Now that I've started working on Mitsubishis, they're simple.
Okay.
Yeah.
Pretty straightforward.
Yeah. When I was always like, I'm an American car guy. I like working on American cars, but now Mitsubishis are pretty simple.
Good. Is there a car that comes in and you're like, oh no, not this one?
A Dodge.
Yeah, okay. Any specific one or just
no, they're Dodge. Dodge.
If you had to own one car for the rest of your life, and like you could buy like a newer model of it, but like that specific car, what car would you purchase?
No. It'd probably be an SUV or something bigger. Just I'm not a specific one. I don't really know. I guess
there's not one that like specifically you're like this one's like the most reliable. I could do this forever kind of thing.
Yeah, I don't know. Not really.
Okay, that's good to know though, because I feel like it's so easy to get stuck on like one vehicle. Like if you have a good experience with one car, I feel like some people get so like this is all I'll own for the rest of my life. So it's kind of nice to know that they're. It's an even playing field, if you will. So you're not necessarily super customer facing, but what do your interactions with customers look like?
If they have a noise that like I don't hear when I'm driving it, then the service advisor will have them come in and then take me for a ride. Okay. So then they can be like, oh, there's the noise.
Okay.
Or pinpoint or.
Is it sometimes like you hear it and you just cannot figure it out, or can you generally kind of pinpoint it?
Generally, usually you can. We have like chassis ears or devices that we can like attach to certain areas to find the noises.
Okay.
Sometimes they can get pretty complicated to where you might need 2-3 guys in the vehicle sometimes in the corners to listen to different corners, or have someone driving while you're listening. Or something like that.
I feel like that could get kind of interesting. I'm just like having to listen for it. Okay, do you ever have anybody come in with like a specific problem, and then when you go to work on it, you just can't find that problem, but then you end up finding something else?
Yeah, we've found other things for customers a lot, or you try and upsell things, or find issues with their vehicle so that they're driving around safe.
Okay, yeah.
Or they thought they heard something, but it was not an issue or something.
Okay, that's good to know that you kind of find a mixture of both, like some things that are just kind of normal. What is something that people tend to want to skip on that like should not?
Fluids are a big thing in a vehicle. I know they keep their oil changed a lot. Transmissions are a big thing. Like a lot of people don't want to change their transmission fluid because it's kind of expensive, but then it's a very expensive item in a vehicle.
Yeah. Does it just kind of end up bogging down the vehicle in the long run if you don't change that out?
Or taking out the transmission, which is like thousands of dollars.
Okay.
Yeah.
And like seasonally, obviously there's different things that go on. What for each season, what would you recommend as like a top priority to do for your vehicle? Like, so starting with spring coming up, what would you say people need to start with?
Just air pressures, tires, especially going from winter to summer, tire pressures are always going to fluctuate.
Okay.
And then just services like fluids, big time. Having it checked over, just make sure that there is no loose pieces or worn items. Or
do you feel like there's like a lot of turnover, just because it is a very needed job? Do you feel like a lot of people kind of go to different places a lot, or do you feel like people kind of stay in one place?
I think they kind of move around a lot. Yeah, I mean, in the beginning when they're younger, I feel like they move around a lot, and then once you get a little older, you kind of find your place. And just like here, we have 4 or 5 guys that have been here for over 15, 20 years. So it's
okay. What's something that like would keep somebody at Vern Eide? Like what do you notice about it here that entices people to stay?
I think the big thing is culture. Just helping. Like all the other shops I was at, people were reluctant to help because it's taking away from their time. Where here they'll actually put their tools down and come and like be like, maybe try this or try that or.
Yeah, that's nice. I love that. Kenny, is there anything else you'd like to share with us?
I don't think so. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, thank you for joining us, and thank you for watching this episode of EideCast is listening on.